Hey everybody. So Bitcoin has had a pretty drastic move to the upside recently, and so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the trades that I took, both the winners and losers. I want to go over the current short position that I'm in from right up here, and talk about my levels that I am watching now. So I made a video a few days ago talking about my levels of resistance if we got to move to the upside. And well, basically, we did get a move to the upside, and we blew through a lot of my resistance levels above us. And let me shut my window because it's being loud outside. And I'll try to bring you through my mindset of yesterday because, it was sort of a disaster, you could say. So, first off, I tried to short right here, I believe, and I think I got in right around at the top. And we did have a little move to the downside, almost a percent, I think, like from where my entry was, it was about a 0.75% move. And I did take some profits here, but I did not move my stop loss to my entry, which sometimes moving your stop loss to your entry can come back to bite you in the butt. Sometimes price just retests your entry and then continues moving in that direction. But what I've found happens more often than that is when you don't move your stop loss to your entry, when you keep it above the last swing high, and you still maintain risk in your position. When I got stopped out of this trade, it was still a small loss, even though I took some profits out. The fees and just the loss in general overtook the profit that I got, and that was something I was willing to do. I kept my stop loss above this last swing high, and we ended up taking it out. So that was one loss right there. And then when we came up to this area and we were seeing the bearish divs again, I was hesitant. I was hesitant to enter up here because I just took a loss, and so I ended up missing out on this trade right up here. Even though, let's see, I think we saw some local bearish divs here too. Did we make another higher high there? Yeah, we even had local bearish divs here too. Money flow trending down. So that would have been a nice entry, but just because I took a loss earlier, I did not take that trade. But I did take this trade, and this was a much worse trade to take in hindsight. Um, but the reason I took this trade, I did have a few solid confirmations for this trade. First off, we saw the bearish divergences here, and first off, I believe this was a golden pocket. Yeah, it was a 786 golden pocket area, so bearish divs coming into this area of resistance. And I saw money flow trending down on the 12-minute, which is a pretty solid signal. Money flow really trending down on the 6-minute. So we saw the bearish divs there. And then when I came over to coinalyze.net, what we saw on Coinalyze while we were making these, or while we were forming these bearish divs, so we were also seeing some potential absorption of longs. So we saw the price making lower highs. We saw the CVD making higher highs along with the open interest. And it was very slight. I wouldn't say it was the most confident signal right here, but we did see some potential absorption. And, that along with the bearish divs got me into this position. And again, this was a small winner, about 0.45% for my entry. And, again, I did take some profits here, but I apparently didn't learn any lessons from the last trade I took, and I kept my stop loss above the last swing high, and I got stopped out at a loss. So a bit of an unfortunate day of trading, and, another thing to add, a little more salt in the wound, is I was not in any long positions, even though I was, really looking for an entry. I just didn't get it. So, yeah, yesterday pretty much ended the day at a net loss. And I've been in these kind of situations before where, we get a very large impulse in one direction, and, a lot of people tend to get wrecked trying to trade the pivot of that impulse too early. A lot of people probably shorted up here thinking this was the top. A lot of people probably shorted up here thinking this was the top. A lot of people probably shorted up here thinking this is the top, and it could be. Here's the thing, you never know, but we can use our tools to try and make an educated guess and uh, try and really figure out where the market is going to pivot. And there are a few signs that you can look for to give you more confidence in that. So let's talk about this short right here and what we were seeing in Market Cipher when we came up to these highs that we weren't seeing at any of these other highs. So first off, when I woke up this morning, I like to go through Market Cipher starting on the 4-hour and see where we're at. And what I saw on the 4-hour is that we were starting to top out. This momentum wave looked like it was about to print a red dot, and it was very oversold. It was well above the 60 line here. So we have a very overbought 4-hour momentum wave. Then, we can check the 2-hour, and we start seeing some potential bearish divergences here. The 2-hour wave is overbought as well, above the 60 line, and now we are forming some very slight bearish divs as we came up for this high. But money flow is still very thick in the green. Come down to the 1-hour, and we start seeing the bearish divs more clearly. Bearish divs above the 60 line. So, we are seeing these confirmations in overbought territory on some of the higher time frames. But again, money flow is still, looking very thick. And like I said, you never know when price is going to pivot, but, you can look for hints as to when that is going to happen. And what I've found is when all of the time frames are sort of pointing to the same thing, when like the 4-hour is saying we're overbought, the 2-hour, the 1-hour are saying we're overbought, and then you start coming down to some of the lower time frames, and you see the bearish divergences on the 24-minute, money flow trending down. You see the bearish divs on the 12-minute, money flow trending down as well. You start to see the lower time frames giving you the confirmations to the higher time frames being overbought. Then you can have a bit more confidence that we may be topping out here, and especially as we're coming up to a significant level of resistance, which we did come up to a very significant level of resistance right here. So this was the golden pocket from this move up here down to the lows. So very significant area right there. And if I just outline this golden pocket with a box, you can see that this level did act as support for us over here, acted as support over here. Now it seems like we could be coming back up to retest this area as resistance up here. So I'd say this is pretty significant resistance right here. And, a lot of different time frames on Market Cipher are pointing to this being at least a local top, potentially pointing to the fact that we may get a retracement here down to some of these support levels. So yeah, basically because I saw the higher time frames being overbought and the bearish divs on the 1-hour and down, basically the 2-hour and down actually. We were seeing bearish divs on almost all of the time frames, even down to the 1 minute. As we came up for this last high, we formed some local bearish divs, and that sort of marked out the top there. We saw, we didn't see money flow trending down, but the local 1 minute bear divs with, the context of everything else, that was a pretty good entry there in my opinion. So yeah, basically that's that was my trading experience the past day or two. Wasn't the greatest, but overall, because I was practicing good risk management, because I was at least trying to take responsible trades, I was waiting for my levels to get hit, waiting for confirmations, and sometimes you get everything you want to see, you get the confirmations at your levels, and still doesn't work out, which of course is why you have to always practice good risk management. You should never let a string of 2 or 3 losses ruin your account. After I took these few losses, I just went to bed. I was done trading for the day, and I had my alerts set, and I just waited for the next opportunity. But yeah, now I have some profits locked in on this trade. I have a feeling that this could be at least a local top. Maybe we will see a retracement back down to some of these support levels down here. But yeah, anyways, now let's talk about some of those support levels below us. So if this is going to be a breakout of the sideways ranges that we've been trading in, or at least a move back up to the highs of the range, we've sort of been trading in tighter and tighter ranges this entire time. Now it seems like we might be breaking that pattern. So potentially, if we start seeing a retracement here, we could look for some confirmations at some of these support levels and potentially ride this up to the top of the range if we continue getting a move to the upside, which let's just take a look at the higher time frames and see, do we think that is possible? I mean, the weekly still has this trigger wave. The money flow isn't looking the greatest, but the 3-day and the 2-day, I'd say, are looking pretty good. We are starting to see the direction and momentum, the direction and money flow. So I'd say the higher time frames are starting to look pretty decent. Same with the daily. So I definitely think it's possible that we, ultimately end up trending higher. And, if that is the case, then we can start planning out some levels of support that we'd be keeping our eye on. So first off, right around 20,500, we have pretty much just these highs of the range, and we also have a 382 coming in from this low to this high. So this could be a potential retest of the highs of the range before getting a move to the upside again. And right around 19,850, we have this little area of confluence. We have the value area high of this sideways range. We also just have, some of the highs of this range right here. And we also have a golden pocket coming in right at this value area high too from, it's that same fib. So from this low to this high, that golden pocket's coming in right at that value area high. So that could be another significant level of support if we lose these highs. And we also, you can see, have a bit of confluence with the 786 and golden pocket right down here. But, if we're going with the hypothesis that, we are now breaking out of this sideways range here, then ideally we would look to retest some of the highs of it, whether it be these highs or whether it be these highs right here, the value area high. For me, if I'm looking for a retracement before I move higher, then these would probably be the levels I would be watching. But all right, I think that is everything I wanted to go over. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.